What's going on, guys? So in today's edition of Sasuke Shinden, the Teacher Star Pupil, we're going to be looking at the portion of the story where Sasuke Uchiha displayed a brand new jutsu that is absolutely overpowered, and is one of those jutsu when you see how wide scale it is, you're going to look at Sasuke and you're going to say this man's chakra control is on an absolute different level, and you're going to call this man an absolute prodigy. So for those of you guys who are new and have no idea what Sasuke Shinden is, it's a Naruto light novel that is set in the Boruto era, and during this novel, we have Sasuke Uchiha taking over the training of Team 7, and Sasuke during this time has taught Team 7 quite a bit, and the training has been so effective that even Orochimaru shows up to watch Sasuke as he's training Mitsuki, Boruto, and Sarada. So for those of you guys who are interested in more information about this novel and you want to get up to the scene where we're at now, I have a playlist on the homepage that you guys can look at. Go to the Naruto novel section, click on the Sasuke Shinden Teacher Star Pupil novel, and watch those videos and enjoy. But with that being said, let's get right into the discussion today. So I think most of us will agree that when it comes to Sasuke Uchiha, he's probably hands down one of the most gifted shinobi to have ever existed. In fact, when it comes to his genius level IQ, he's been praised by people like Minato and Orochimaru, and it's been to a point to where even Orochimaru looks over at Sasuke and he says, "They called me a genius. This kid right here, he is something different. He's a different animal, different breed, whatever cliche you want to use." And we see it on full display here. So prior to the scene, Sasuke took Team 7 with them on this huge mission that has land of fire level ramifications if the missions fail. And what Sasuke does is he takes the opportunity to train Sarada midway through the mission to use her Sharingan to track down those explosives, and he gives Team 7 specific orders. He tells them that, hey, you know, there are 18 people on the ship. You guys need to break them up and you need to take them out in this order, very specific. So what Sasuke does is, as Team 7 carries out the assignments that he gives them for this mission, Sasuke is also eliminating any threats that might be too high above their pay grade, and he's given them the opportunity to flourish. And when it looks like they're in a situation where they're gonna fall on their faces, that's when Sasuke steps in. We really see Sasuke being the sensei that a lot of us wanted to see Konohamaru be. And what I like about this right here is that when Sasuke uses his brand new jutsu, it comes after Mitsuki is just absolutely beasting at this point, and he's showing that he has fully understood Sasuke's training, because the level of chakra control that Mitsuki's using when he's fighting against the people that Sasuke pointed out for him is absolutely insane in terms of the finite level of control he has for his chakra control. And that was the whole basis of Sasuke's training for Team 7. And when Sasuke steps in and unleashes his brand new jutsu, it's one of those attacks where when you look at it, the level of chakra control that Sasuke himself has when it comes to using this jutsu is going to make you look at this character a lot differently, because we're in a situation where an entire ocean has been affected by Sasuke's attack. So with the scene and context finally being set, it's here I'm going to begin reading the passage from the novel, and then I'll come back to you guys with my thoughts. And it's here I'm going to begin quoting. Where each little bounce sent a stinging shockwave through his body. If we flip over at the speed, he could have saved himself at any number of ways if he was alone, but it would be a Herculean effort in order to rescue his unconscious prisoners. Up ahead, he noticed a large wave that was coming right at him. This is not good, Mitsuki said out loud. He had no choice. If he could just keep these two men alive, his team would be able to take care of the rest in the worst case scenario. Mitsuki pulled the two men in close and tucked them under his arms. The wave was about to hit them and then flip over the jet ski. The instant that it did, he would power up and he would jump up and fall backward onto the water. He'd have to hope he'd still be able to get back to the ship after that, and then bring the men back with him. Bracing himself for the impact, Mitsuki got ready to jump. There was a sudden crack, and then the jet ski abruptly shut down. Huh? Crackle, crackle. It sounded like something crystallizing all around him. Decelerating in the blink of an eye, the jet ski slid over the tall wave and finally came to a stop. Cold air descended around them. Even though they were out in the open water, his breath was coming out in white puffs. Mitsuki looked around, stunned. Mitsuki started and then stopped. The ocean had frozen as if to embrace the jet ski. He looked back and saw an ice bridge stretching out from the prow of the ship in the distance. Is that Sasuke sensei? Mitsuki said. End quote. So right there, I want you guys to stop and appreciate what Sasuke just did here. So earlier on in the novel, when Sasuke saves Konohamaru, Sasuke uses what he calls a imitation of ice release. He says it's not perfect. He says it's not on the level of somebody like Haku. And when Konohamaru sees the ice release jutsu, Konohamaru is like, wait a second, this guy froze the entire train, froze the flames. And he's saying that this is not a complete ice release. It fools me. And Sasuke says that this is something very easy for him to do, and it's because Sasuke has the Rinnegan that he's able to understand all the chakra natures, and he's found a way to start imitating Kekkei Genkai. But Sasuke, by his own admission, says that it's not perfect and that it's merely an imitation. And what you're seeing right here is that in the time since then, Sasuke has perfected his ice release imitation jutsu to the point where he freezes the entire ocean that they're in. He freezes a freaking tidal wave before it can hit Mitsuki. And in the time that he does this, he also makes a freaking ice bridge that goes from where Mitsuki is all the way to the ship. And it's because Sasuke's watching the whole thing from afar. He sees that Mitsuki's in a huge situation. He sees that Mitsuki has prisoners that he needs to bring back. That way they can interrogate them. And if Mitsuki gets hit by that tidal wave, or if he has to worry about saving those people, there's a chance they lose the prisoners, but also there's a chance that Mitsuki himself gets harmed. Sasuke, in a split second, without even showing himself to Mitsuki, is able to swoop in, stop the situation with that huge display of power. And then simultaneously, as all this is going on, he builds a bridge for safety for Mitsuki to get back to. That is some boss level stuff right there. Like, when I read that, I popped, man. I love that, because what we're seeing here with Sasuke is that Sasuke has a nurturing side. It's just that he doesn't show it by doting on his students and everything like Konohamaru. He's very stern with his training, but at the same time, when they're going out on the missions, he gives them the opportunity to step in and do their own thing. But he also proactively eliminates a lot of the more dangerous threats while also leaving just enough for them to practice their skill level. And Sasuke purposely put them in a situation where the members of Team 7 have to use his training in order to accomplish the goals. And the whole purpose of Sasuke's training for Team 7 was focused on chakra control, teaching them to be able to use that high-level jutsu while also minimizing the amount of chakra that you're expending in terms of output. So being able to use that destructive jutsu while also using just enough of that force to do damage while also not destroying the object completely. And the way that he did so was using these sugar cubes that are modified to look like dice. And so Sasuke was making them have to roll those dice using their jutsu. So wind release, Rasengan, lightning release, however they chose to use it, shuriken jutsu, however they chose to use it. They had to roll the dice a certain number of times in order to get the number that Sasuke was looking for on the dice. And if they used too much, they destroyed it. Well, Mitsuki was in a situation where he couldn't destroy the object that he was using this jutsu on, but he was also pressed for time. And once Sasuke saw that, okay, Mitsuki's doing his job, but things about to get a little out of hand, that's when Sasuke steps in. And that's when he uses this enormous ice release jutsu. Even though it's a pseudo ice release and Sasuke doesn't say that it's the real thing, Mitsuki and in the very beginning of the novel, Konohamaru both believe that this is a full-blown ice release. And by Sasuke casually displaying a jutsu like that to Mitsuki, it reinforces the whole notion of what he was trying to teach Team 7. It's okay that you know all these super destructive jutsu, but until you really get a grasp on chakra control, you're not going to be able to use more advanced jutsu, and you're not going to be able to maximize the jutsu that you have now. And when you really look at it, you have people as powerful as Naruto and Sasuke. When they go into a battle, technically they're strong enough to where, depending on where you want to scale them, I've seen some people say that they're absolutely planet destroyers and they're full power when it's unleashed. Every attack that you see them use isn't destroying a planet, but they're able to control the output of their attacks while everything is contained in a certain space. Sasuke's working with Team 7 and get them to understand that concept right there, which is what I really appreciate, how Sasuke gives Mitsuki the opportunity to use his jutsu and put into practice the very things that Sasuke is trying to teach to Team 7. Things like Naruto understands. That's why Naruto didn't blow up the entire village when he used the Lava Star Rasen Shuriken against Delta. He's trying to get Team 7 to understand principles like that. And by putting them into a situation in battle on a high stakes mission, he's able to accurately gauge how far along they are, and when they need help, Sasuke can step in. And in the case of Mitsuki, he used that as a teaching moment as well. So my question to you guys is, number one, how impressed are you with the fact that Sasuke froze a freaking portion of the ocean that they were in, as well as the tidal wave mid-stride? And what do you think about Sasuke's teaching methods? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching this in. Have an awesome day, guys.